Alright, Altars by Kronos is here. I'm going to bring you a really cool match. This is, again, my non-creature version for the tournament, and I'm playing against Kobolds. Yes, I'm so excited and scared at the same time. So Kobolds are a lot of fun, and they're very deadly in this format if you play it correctly. And he's testing out some theories and figuring out how to play it. But first, we're going to watch the intro.
Greetings, old school magic players, and welcome to the 4 Horsemen.
Alright, welcome back. As normal, I skip ahead a lot of the crazies for you, or the extremely long pauses, which we do not have in this match. But I did not get the play first, which is not good for me, especially when it's playing Kobolds. So there's two Kobolds, and there's a Plains. So you might think, oh, why do I have Plains? Well, I want you to think about a couple cards that are in the 4 original sets that come from white that will make Kobolds extremely deadly. So if you can figure some of those things out, let me know. And if you have any red spells you can think of, let me know. I had a Maze of Ith in my hand, and I wanted to play it really bad. But something told me to put the Mana Source out, so I went against my nature and put the Mana Source out. Guess what I'm being punished with? One of those wonderful spells, but it's the red one. Bloodlust. Yeah, I just got hit by 4 by Kobolds on turn 2. So that is not cool for me. So there's a pass. Now I'm going to put down my Maze of Ith. Because I'm like, no, I'm done with this. Not playing this game. But Kobolds come out fast. And this is where the problem I have. Spirit Links are really not that good, because what am I going to do? Spirit Link is 0-1. So I got to find a way to control the board. Now, Kobolds are red. So guess what I'm putting in the second game? Both my COPs. Now there's a white 1-1 first strike. Yep. Bloodlust on a 1-1 first strike wolf is very deadly too. 4 + 1 is 5. What is 5? Juzam. What's going to die to a 1-1 wolf with first strike? A Juzam. Alright, so I am going to Spirit Link the wolf. And pass turn. With 6 in hand. I need to figure something out here or else I am toast. He already has 3 mana up. Here's another Kobolds. Now they're all still 0-1s at the moment, but there's a lot of cards in that deck. There's a City of Brass. And there's the pass. He has 1 left in hand. You can see his dice there too. He does the same thing I do, except he has an actual good webcam. I am trying, guys. Money is not in my vocabulary, so it's very complicated. My son goes to a lot of special classes, and I'm the last one I end up spending money on most of the time, so I'm trying hard to get a better webcam so these videos on my side look better for you. Because my son likes the dark, so that's why some of that little fuzz is there, because it's almost using a night vision. Now there's a 1-1 Goblin Mountain Walk Goblin. That's a problem. Now I have to do something about him. Oh, I just played a mountain. I wonder why. I'm going to try and do a little tactic here. So what I was going to do is say, hey, I have 5 lands. Let's cast this awesome spell called Pyrotechnics and wipe his board out. Well, me being utterly exhausted at this time of night, I forgot my maze was a maze. So what am I going to do here instead? Might as well make the best of it and put a coffin out. My thought process, at least with coffin, if he puts some kind of big buffing creature out, I can stick it in there. So I'm going to untap the 1/1 wolf, and you guys might see one of those white spells I was asking you to, if you knew. If you know them all, put them in the comments if you haven't already. But oh, there's one of them. Let's see if you guys can figure out what it is and what it does. That's going to give all his creatures a certain amount of pluses. There's 2 different cards like this that are instances. Bang. He forgot the Spirit Link was on there. So that's what we're discussing now. Technically, I should have went down a little more in the dice and then back up. So we're going to things back to where he said I was, and then we're going to count down backwards. There we go. That's better. So what that actually did is gave everything +2. So I technically took 8 damage, or 9 damage, but then I gained 3 back. That's how it should have played out there. So that's a hard hit. So I'm already down to 10 life against Kobolds. It is not looking good for me here. And I drew another City of Brass. How awesome is that? I'm going to take 2 more damage. But here's the spell I wanted to play in the first place. So since he's tapped, it's a perfect time to do it because he can't cast anything to help keep his creatures alive. So I'm going to blow up everything except for the Spirit Linked creature. And there's the pass turn. So now with 1 card in hand, which it looks like it's another buff, I'm going to put them over there because I can't use them at the moment. It'll just kill me. Nova Pentacle. Now that's a great card in this on this because I redirect damage done to me. So that means if a card is bloodlusted, I redirect the damage done by the creature with bloodlust to a creature of his choice instead. And I have to name the source. So that also works with all kinds of stuff. For example, I can basically, as long as it's damaging me, so Underworld Dreams or Land's Edge, anything like that. Now I'm going to go for 1 and take back my Pyrotechnics. I can see already that my Divine Offerings are not going to really help me. I have 4 of them, so I will use them as recall bait, and I will keep 2 basically alive, so I can use for health if needed. I can sack my own Coffin or Triskelion, something like that, and gain a bunch of life back. Alright, so this is me basically trying to remember what all kobolds do, because you're not going to be able to see them from here, so he was explaining that is not the one that gives power, that's the one that gives toughness. Now the other abilities don't really bother me. Like there's first strike abilities and stuff like that, but I don't really have any creatures. But I'm going to walk through and tell him what that card does. Okay, so we had a discussion there. I walked him through the whole Nova and explained to him exactly what it does. Am I going to tap everything? I mean, he's down to one card. I wonder if I had a trike in my hand. No, I decided to pass turn. I didn't want to go down too much. I need that Nova up. And I need the Coffin up. I'm hoping for one more land. And if he plays another creature, it's fine. I can just nuke it with the pyrotechnics that I'm keeping in my hand that most people probably would have forgot about at this point. Alright, so there's the pass turn. Alright, there's another land. Alright, so there we go. Now I'm going to tap out and cast a Triskelion. Because at this point, I'm kind of smelling blood. Because if he had an enchantment or an artifact removal, he would have used it by now. You can't keep that Pentacle Nova out there, and you can't keep the Coffin out. So that tells me he didn't have one. Because I could redirect all the direct damage he would do and all his creatures. So it looks like I'm going to maze that guy. Let's see if I'm going to shoot anything off. I can probably kill him. I believe right now I'm asking what the toughness is for his creatures. Because I can kill that. I believe it's a sergeant. I can kill him now. And then his other creature gets less. Looks like that's what I'm doing there. I believe it's 2 for him. So I did 1 damage, nothing was done. So now I'm going to do the other damage to him. Alright, there's the other card. Let's see if you can figure out what that is. Put it in the comments. I believe that gives a +1/+1. So I had to use all 3 basically to shoot something out. I'm not going to block with the trike because I want to be able to coffin him. So I have to keep that trike alive. So looks like I'm going to gain life from the wolf again. This is what I meant before about trying to help each other out and play a little nicer, because it's hard to remember that your creature has a spirit link on it when you don't have a spirit link in front of you. If you're playing in person, my spirit link would be on his board, underneath his creature, on top of it. You wouldn't make those mistakes. So we were just kind of walking each other through it, and I was kind of explaining it to him, hey man, don't forget. Alright, so there's the untap and pass. Now I have a lot of mana and a lot of control at this moment. My son's having a great old time here. Alright, I think right now what I'm going to do is coffin my own Triskelion. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I had to put blue on for my little guy here. So we're going to just kind of go over. I'm tapping the Triskelion. I'm just kind of explaining to him how it functions. It should come out tapped and all that kind of stuff. But right now it is just a 1-1. But I want to explain how the whole thing works to him. Now, he plays white, so he could have divine offerings and stuff. I do not know. So there's a Fellware Stone that I forgot to play a long time ago. And I'm just going to pass for 3. I believe I had an Oubliette also in hand. Now at this point he's got to decide what exactly am I doing. I don't want to do direct damage to him because he's just going to redirect it to my own creature. Alright, so there's, I believe it's Taskmaster if I remember right. I love Kobolds. I just don't have enough. I would love to have Kobolds. They're one of my favorite things in all the world. Alright, so on his end step, I'm going to Coffin, and I'm going to untap. Now, you'll see Triskelion is tapped. That is the new Magic rules. It always was supposed to be in tapped, but remember it's exile and return tapped. Not phased. There we go. So I untapped the rest of my stuff. I drew my card. And let's see what we got to play here. Now, to be totally honest with you, I feel like the creature version that I came up with is way stronger. So if you're on my Discord, you'll know what I'm talking about. There is a little deck tech about both of these in complete detail, with lists and everything, so you guys can see what I'm thinking of doing for 4 Horsemen. There's definitely a weakness to my deck, and my weakness is if these were all 1/1 creatures, I'd be hurting a lot worse right now. But if they were 1/1s, the Pinnacle would be killing them each turn. So that card is, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly either way, but I call him Nova for now on. How about that? So Nova would basically be killing his own creatures. And it's the same thing. If he attacks with his wolf, I can use Nova, redirect the damage from me to a Kobold. So I don't lose life, but then I gain life because of Spirit Link. So he can't even attack with his wolf. So right now I can Coffin 1 and Nova another source. Alright, so we went through all those discussions here. I decided I'm just going to end up passing turn here shortly. Let me know what you guys would play in the Kobold deck. How would you make this Kobold deck better? Or what suggestions you have for my deck? I'd love to keep playing no creature. Well, I shouldn't say no creatures, but just 2 creatures and a factory. I'd love to keep playing that. Moat is banned in this format. I wish it wasn't. I think it should be restricted because every single color has flying creatures. So it's not like I'm taking away your ability to kill me. But now everything he has a lot of bonuses on it. So I got to try and figure something out here. There is no Wrath of God here. Alright, so there's the past turn, it looks like. So I'm explaining again the end step. And because Triskelion says when it comes into play, well, it came back into play, so I'm supposed to add 3 counters to it. So now you guys see where this is going. Now I have a 7/7 Triskelion. Yeah, Coffin is very powerful in this format. Alright, so there is an Oubliette to get rid of his guy who gives all of the toughnesses out. So now everything is a lot weaker. Not in strength, but in toughness, meaning I can kill things a lot better. So I'm asking how much? Like, how much do you have going on here? I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do here. I'm going to end up just passing turn at the moment. In hopes that he doesn't pull another one of those same guys out. Alright, so there's another wolf. Looks like I'm trying to decide if I want a coffin or not. I'm thinking no. Yep. I'm thinking I let coffin untap. Alright, so coffin is untapped. Triskelion never went in the coffin, so he does not have summoning sickness. I must have an oubliette in hand because I'm keeping black up. Alright, so there's the board wipe. So I'm even wiping out the Spirit Linked guy at this point. Now what I did end up doing, you'll notice his guy is tapped. I did coffin his guy, not my Triskelion. What happens with coffin is if I, on your end step, if I coffin one of your creatures, he goes in a coffin. When coffin becomes untapped, it returns tapped. So that's why his creature was tapped, and my Triskelion can shoot through for a big whopping 7. So he played a guy who I don't like. So I happen to have a control spell, so I did a remove soul, and I sucked its soul and all its life away and shucked it in the graveyard. There's me reminding that my Spirit Link's supposed to be in my graveyard. That's actually important if I ever need recalls. Alright, so there's a Triskelion with a Spirit Link on it. I have Coffin, I have Nova. What am I doing now? Oh, I'm coughing his guy. So now he's in a coffin. Now I'm going to attack through, gain a whole bunch of life. So there's an attack for 7. I'm going to gain the life. He's down to 3. I'll shoot him off, gain the life, and finish it off. Now we go to round 2. Let's see what happens here. Alright, so now we're back. We did all the sideboarding. I'd really like if I had Moat out. That would have been great. I pretty much have, or not Moat, Abyss out. If I had my Abyss, that would have really helped things a lot. Unfortunately, I rarely ever draw that thing. That's why you got to be very, very chess-like when you play this game. Alright, so there's a, excuse me, very powerful start. 1/1 first strike. That means I could take 5 damage next turn if he has a Bloodlust in his hand. I did not have a Spirit Link, so it looks like I'm praying to God. Alright, so now he's fixed on mana. There's an attack in. So my dice got moved slightly, but you'll see the life total down there for us. I do take the 1. Oh, now we already got a nasty Kobold out. That gives bonuses to all his Kobolds. I'm going to take my turn and play a Maze. That was a good top deck there. In fact, he was actually laughing. He's like, oh, you're going to top deck a Maze. And I did. I top decked a Maze. And I flipped it right away to show him that it was a top deck. That was kind of crazy, actually. Alright, so there's another Kobold. And another Kobold. Oh boy. Alright, so his creatures are getting big in power and toughness now. Alright, so I'm going to untap one of them. There we go, untap the Kobold. I'm going to take the damage, go down 18. Alright, we're going to tap 2 for stone. Tap a stone for a spirit link on probably the wolves. Yeah, because I put in my 2 COPs. So red is not scaring me as bad as long as I draw one of those 2 COPs. But I can't COP white. The only COP in here, there's only 2. One of them does red and black, and one of them does artifacts. And they're both 2 mana. Let's see what he's going to do here. I have a feeling I'm going to take a lot of damage here. This is when he has 3 mana up, it scares me. So we learned, we start putting, you notice there's dice now on his creature to indicate spirit link, so we don't forget. So I'm going to untap 1. I have a feeling he's going to play something and do more damage, or he might hold back. Oh, we wanted to walk through the phases here. That's what this is doing. We were curious on how Bloodlust and these things are going to play out with phasing. So we walked through the new magic phases to make sure that we were doing everything 100% accurate. Alright. So there's what we ended up doing. Saved you some time there, but he ended up casting a Bloodlust on there. Now technically his one guy is untapped. But I'm already down. I'm getting hit hard. And I have nothing on the board to save my butt right now. Yeah, I said COP and put down a Divine Offering. Again, tired. But there's a COP. So I technically have a COP for a red source at the moment and a maze. So I'm starting to, I have to hurry up and balance out here. And he's got to hurry up and kill me, because if I level out, it's not going to be good for him at all. Looks like he's attacking with... Yeah. Let's see what happens here. Alright, so damage is going to be dealt. So I'm going to negate the damage from the one guy. I'm expecting a Bloodlust or something. Nope. Okay. It was a wolf. I expected to get Bloodlusted and hit for another 4 damage. So right now what I'm doing is separating out the mana sources, so I know how many white and blue combinations I have, because I need to know, I shouldn't say white and blue, but how many white and other do I have? there's the Sullivan Library. So that's huge for me. Because I want to filter cards. Again, we only have the one tome in here. And that you have to draw and discard. So the best other source I can pull out of here is Sullivan Library. Why? Because it adds 3 cards to my hand. Now, yes, you're technically not in your hand unless you pay a lot of life, but you know what they are. So you can pick the best out of basically 6 cards. Because you have, right now I have 3 in my hand and I have 3 in Sullivan Library. So I'm picking the best out of the Sullivan Library 3, adding it to my hand. But at least I get to look at my hand plus 3 cards every single turn and decide what to do. So I had to tap a little bit of mana for that, which was necessary. So I'm going to untap one of those guys. I'll untap the wolf because I can't COP that wolf. So now we're going to kind of walk through, okay, do you have any, what are you doing now? And damage is being dealt, so I'm going to COP the damage that's dealt. So I think I'd just take 1. Yep. You can see my life totals on his dice as well there. And there you'll see my hand is clearly marked on the table. I try and do as much as possible. You should put it in your hand and then play the lands, but we're friends, so we know we're not going to do anything crazy. There's a coffin. So this is me trying to stabilize. I know I'm going to take damage. I know he probably has a spell and he's going to boost all his creatures, but I have to start getting stuff out because if I do not level, I'm dead. So now I can only COP 1 source and maze 1. So I'm expecting something big to happen here. I'm just hoping it's not Bloodlust. Yep, there's basically the alpha swing. I have a little bit of panic in my heart at the moment because I know something bad's going to happen. So right now I'm counting up the damage with him. Gonna Maze of Ith, the wolf, probably. Yep. Alright, so I was wondering if we had some bloodlust going on or what we were doing. So I'm going to COP 1. So again, that's only a little bit of damage. We're going to drop 1 more. I expected +1 to everything and bloodlust or 2 bloodlust. I expected something nasty to happen there. I'm getting a little bit lucky here. Looks like I'm starting to level out. After this turn, I should be leveled out for a little bit. But he still has a lot of creatures. Alright. So it looks like we're tapping to play one of those, I believe it's Taskmaster, I believe. I believe it gets first strike and +1/+0 to all your kobolds. Again, first strike would be nasty right now, but thank God I don't have creatures. Let's see what we got here. Oh, pass turn. Okay. Now I gotta start knocking creatures off his board or I'm toasted. Either that or I gotta start pulling lands out of the Sullivan Library and keep playing these lands out here so I can keep myself balanced for a little while. Because now I have Coffin. So if anything really crazy happens, at least I have one. Yeah, it looks like I gotta recheck my hand here. Alright, so now I'm playing a trike. Again, I'm assuming he does not have a Divine Offering because he probably would have killed that coffin. Now, he might have a Dust to Dust, which I hope he doesn't. Now, I should not have done this. So this is me play erroring right now. Yep, he was holding a Dust to Dust. Yep. So I'm going to have to ping off some creatures here quick. So again, that's what you should not do. You should never play a Triskelion if you have Coffin unless you have 3 extra mana sitting to the side. I was desperately trying to balance here a little bit. Now this might have been a blessing in disguise. So I'm going to take out the guy who's buffing all the toughness. And I'm going to take out a wolf, which I cannot COP. Now I put them in a graveyard by accident. And we'll walk us through this later on in the game. And I'll remember that they're removed and we'll fix it. I forgot Dust to Dust removes from the game. I'm used to Disenchants and Divine Offerings. I usually do not play Dust to Dust. Alright, so I'm going to tap 1. I'll take some damage. I'm getting very, very low here. I believe I'm on 10 life now. Let's see, what am I doing here? Oh, another Spare Link. That's good. So now you can see I'm starting to stabilize. So now there's only 2 red sources on the table. And there's the pass. Now I'm hoping he doesn't have like 2 bloodlusts and others. See, he's going to have to start saving his stuff. At least that's what I think. He does have more of the let's do some extra damage. So he has the spells, which see if you put in the comments or not. I won't spoil it for you. But he has the 2 different spells that are instances to add to damage and toughness or just damage. So I gotta really watch it. If he does one of those in combination with like 2 bloodlusts, I'm dead. Whether I gain life or not is going to be pointless because I won't be able to gain that much life. Alright, looks like I'm playing another... Yeah, looks like I'm playing something here. Oh, okay, Oubliette. I'm going to take out one of those little Taskmaster guys, the +1/+0 and First Strike. Tell you what, if I could give all the Kobolds banding, that would be dangerous. Extremely dangerous. Yeah, so right there we, again, overlooked it again because we, oh, what's in the graveyard? Well, I have these in my graveyard. Technically, they're exiled. And we correct it later. But this happens when you play Magic late at night. Let's see here. What am I doing? Alright, looks like I'm restacking all the lands here. How many times I can COP. I do have red removal spells in my hand also. So at this point, I'm stabilizing pretty well. Now I'm going to put a book down. In case I need a divine offering, I can gain 3 life out of my book, or if I start drawing extra lands, I can pitch the lands for extra cards. At this point, I need to find a coffin. I was still tempted to find a way to put a flash counter or 2 in here, but I don't think it's relevant. It's not used as much as it needs to be. I originally had them in sideboard because I wanted to keep them for control decks, but there really is no control deck in here, and at least that's what I thought. Alright, I can't let that guy come out because I can't nuke his board. So those guys are remove soul bait. So I'm going to suck his soul out, shove him in a graveyard. Alright, so it looks like I grabbed another land here to balance myself out. Let's see if I'm going to play anything, because now I can play something if I have it. No, it looks like I have control in my hand, which is not a bad idea right now. Alright, so I'm going to... Looks like I almost forgot what was in my hand, but I remembered. So I'm going to take whatever that is. I believe it was another counter spell, so I'm full of protection spells and removal spells at this point. So I don't really care about that guy. So it's just basically pass back and forth game here quickly. So now I'm up to 5 in hand. He does have a whole bunch of stuff out. Again, I'm not worried about it yet. I got a lot of protection from red out. It looks like I might be casting something now, though. There's another Kobold. See, I have to really watch this. Alright, looks like I found another stone. So now I feel a little bit more comfortable with what's in my hand and what's on the board, that I'm not going to take damage. So in my mind, I want to grab a Pyrotechnics or something, because I want to try and wipe his board out here. Now if I have a Mana Drain and he casts something bigger, I can Mana Drain it and respond with a Amnesia. So if I Amnesia his hand and wipe his board out, game's over. I'll start playing my Trikes and Coffins and stuff and kill him. If I had a Coffin, I'd play it right now, truthfully. I have 3 Coffins, so looks like I'm digging for more. I believe at this point I got up to 6 cards in hand, and they were all counter magic and destroy red permanents. So I had enough, I think, in my hand to wipe almost his entire board out right now. And what he's trying to do is build up his lands and build up all his instant spells, and because he's got to try and get in for some damage. So I'm actually looking for a tower at the moment, but definitely don't have it. So at this point, I'm going to draw and pitch a city. I have plenty of lands now. Now I need to try and get some cards. Looks like I'm trying to decide if I want to play something or not. Like I said, I know how to... Excuse me. So I have 6 in hand. Oh. He's casting a wolves. I can't have a wolf either because I can't COP the wolf. So there goes the wolf. At this point, I'm not going to use any more remove souls on anything but wolves. I don't want him to have anything more than 1 white creature. Looks like I'm filtering more lands out here. Yep. Pretty much just flip the land here. Deciding not to do anything, and I'll pass turn with 7. Alright, there's another pass turn. Gonna bounce back and forth here. Now this is getting close to being over here, guys. Now that should have been an indicator. You see me put the Sullivan Library back down and check the graveyard. What should that say that I have? That I have what? Your answer should have been recall. So right now I'm looking at the lands, I'm looking at what's there, and I'm trying to decide, okay, what do I want? I don't really need a recall at the moment. So I'm going to take that card there, filter another land back out. Now, like I said, I had a lot of removal in my hand, so I'm trying to decide, do I clear the board now? What do I do? I don't have Coffin, I don't have Triskelion. There's no reason for me to wipe the board out, because if I wipe the board out and he rebuilds, I'm toast. Alright, looks like I am going to cast something here. I tap 1 blue. Okay, there's one of the red killers. So I'm going to kill probably his Taskmaster guy here. This way all his Kobolds are 0/1s. Yep. So that is now destroyed. And I'm not sure if I'm going to... Yep, just pass. So now I'm at 7 cards. Making sure I have plenty of mana open. I have another red removal spell. So I think I have 2 more, I think, in my hand. But I had a whole bunch of stuff in my hand. It was all full of control. Let's see what he's going to do here. Is he going to try a... Yeah, see, this right there, that indicates that he's got a bunch of those instant spells in his hand. He's trying to decide, do I use it now? Do I not use it now? Careful, Pat. Easy with your truck. Oop, looks like I just kicked the wire. Now, I think he's playing it right. I think he's gonna try and do 1 and get through. Nope, he's gonna dust to dust. Okay, I'm actually fine with this because I think I have a bunch of Divine Offerings and I need to get rid of a card. So let's gain some life. So I'm gonna tap both of them and Divine Offering my own stone. So technically one of those is removed from the game. Not that it matters because I'm never gonna get a stone back with a recall. Alright, he is going to strike in because I did tap. I did tap there. So let's see what I'm going to do here. Because now I can only COP 2 cards and maze 1. Yep. There's one of those cards. I believe it's +1/+1 to everything. There's a mana drain. I tap 1 blue source. Oh, there's 2 blue sources. I'm going to maze another one. And I think I'm taking 0 because they're all technically... Yep. Almost forgot to put my hand down there. Now, I do have 3 mana. Let's pray to God I'm not too tired and I remember to use it. Because I'd like to play a Trike with that mana. Or an Amnesia if I really wanted to be mean and nasty. Wipe his entire hand out. That would be great. Looks like I'm really trying to decide what I'm going to do here. Oh, you know what? I think I grabbed the recall at this point. Because my thought process was, hey, I'm going to recall. This is where we fix the graveyards. Alright, so you can see here, we did remove everything. I actually removed an extra Fellware Stone by accident, because one of them I Divined Offering, but we fix a graveyard there. I'm going to decide to take a Spirit Link and a Mana Drain. Why? Because I have a Trike in my hand. You might have just saw it there for a quick second. But I have Divine Offerings, I have Boomerang, I have other stuff there. So I have ways to protect my Trike now. There you go. You just kind of saw me pan through. Unfortunately, he saw that too, but he can't pause the video and take a look at my hand. You guys can. But basically, it's a whole bunch of protection removal, counter spells. Now, he knows I have all this stuff now. So if he casts another big spell, I'm going to Mana Drain again and play a Trike out, and then all hell's going to break loose. Can't quite see what Kobold that was, but looks like I'm going to do something about it regardless because I'm tired of Kobolds. Or am I going to wait till end step? Looks like I'm going to wait. Because I have 3 sources and a Maze of Ith. So he really can't get through at this point. Alright, so there's the pass. I'm going to Sylvan Library here. Oh, looks like I'm not playing anything yet. I might be waiting for something to get played so I can answer with an Amnesia. Because the goal is, when I'm going to play the Trike when I only got 1 left, I don't want to just throw it out there, because if he gets rid of my Trike, I'm dead. Looks like I took another land. The reason I took that was because I wanted to make sure I had enough for a factory. I'm going to count up how much I can control. Spells, whatever. How many red sources can I stop? As long as there's only one white source. Which you know I have a Spirit Link too. So if there's another white source that gets through, I can Spirit Link that one as well. Looks like we're tapping 2 here. Oh, there's another one of those bad guys. I hate those guys. They're the devil. There's a remove soul. Because I have a Spirit Link, so I'll Spirit Link the wolf. So now he's just going to stack up all his 0/1s here. I don't know if I'm going to get an opportunity to cast Amnesia. Looks like I'm tapping for 1. What am I doing here? Oh, alright, we basically just passed turn. Okay. Alright, well, this is where it's going to get nasty. So remember I said I like Fountain of Youth? This is why. Because now I can gain a life on his end step. So now he has a problem. There's another Kobold. I'm going to count up sources in my hand. And it looks like we passed. So I went up a life because on his end step, I did not show you, but I gained with 1 life with Fountain of Youth on his end step. If I can find the Ivory Tower, I'm golden. Looks like I did not find the Ivory Tower, but I did find something. I need to wipe his creatures out here. Looks like I don't have anything yet. I believe I'm digging for Coffin here. I'm going to gain a life in his end step. Looks like I'm not going to destroy that guy yet. I might want to bait him into attacking. It looks like I had another counter spell there. But I'm trying to go up 1 more land. That way I can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sources. Nope, looks like I'm starting to finally cast something here. Oh, I'm going to oubliette that guy. Okay, that works. That's why I let him go. Oh, did I screw up my tapping? Yeah, I thought the other one was an Underground Sea. I don't think it's going to make any difference, but let's just see how she plays out here. Alright, there's the Taskmaster guy. I'm trying to bait one of those big spells out of his hand. So I might let that go. Nope, I'm not. Okay. Looks like I'm realizing something's wrong here. Alright, so there's a big strike. Oh, this is where we realized. That's when we realized. So we are correct here. But I messed up the oubliette casting cost. That's what we're talking about right now. Wait a hot minute. So the oubliette was the underground sea, the scrubland, and the island, leaving me with 2 blue. The island and the other underground sea was the mana drain. So now I have my 3 mana. So everything is correct there. I just tapped the wrong land and we caught ourselves. Because you can't play oubliette for 2 blue and 1 black. Now there's another one of his big damage spells. I cannot stop that one. So that one's 2 for everything. I'm going to take some serious damage here. But I do have a factory and 1 COP. So I can COP 1, factory kill another one. Let's see what I do. Because he only has 1 mana untapped. So now's the time to activate factory. Because I don't have to be worried about Divine Offering. And then he'll be tapped out, which means I can wipe his board out. So there's the COP, there's the activate factory, block and pump. Yep, so there's activation, nothing's going to happen, block and pump. So 1 Kobold is gone. Looks like we're separating out here. Yeah, 1 COP and one block. I'm going to take a massive hit, so I am down to 6. But he gave me 3 mana, and he's tapped out. So if I'm going to do anything, it's going to be right now. Alright, so there's Triskelion. So now I have ways to protect my Triskelion. Now what I had in my hand right now is a boomerang. So worst case scenario, I'm going to gain 3 life, kill 3 kobolds, and boomerang it back to my hand. So worst case scenario, I'm okay. Now, I'm worried about him doing... He has 4 cards in his hand. If he has 3 more of those... Because I think he main decks 8. 4 of each. So, if he has more of those things, that is really bad for me. But I think he's trying to do the right thing. I think he's trying to time it and work out. This much control is a pain in the butt. So right now what I'm doing is I'm asking him how many he's used so far, so I can calculate odds. Alright, looks like we're passing, so I'm going to draw, or not draw, but I'm going to gain a life on his end step. Now I'm going to proc the Sullivan Library. Looks like I played a volcanic island from the Sullivan Library. Okay, let's see what happens, because his kobolds are all 0/1s. What can I do? Looks like I'm going to swing in for 3. I mean for 4, I mean. Now, he needs all his kobolds. So he has 20 or 19 life. So what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to use the old Maze of Ith attacking creature trick and untap my creature. So I will gain the life. Now, mind you, I do have boomerangs in my hand. So I do have ways to return Triskelion, worst case scenario. I would not be playing him out there if I was worried about him dying. Alright. So it looks like the end step happened. I gained a life on end step. Oh no, alright, he was correcting my life total. Alright, now we have 3 cities of brass. Not what he wants. Definitely doesn't want to land. There's the end step Fountain of Youth. And Sullivan Library trigger. I pick my card. And I might go for the throw here. Yep, there's Abyss. That's going to be a big problem for him. There's a swing. Now he definitely can't jump block because he'll be out of kobolds in no time flat. Because I can ping most of his board right now, but I'm not going to because I don't have Coffin. I want to gain 4 life. So he's going to take it one more time. I'm going to untap the Triskelion. I'm going to gain my life. Now I'm back up to 16. Looks like we were trying to remember. Yes, there's still a Spirit Link underneath that tower of stuff. He's going to let that go to the Abyss, which I don't blame him. It is a white source, but it is Spirit Linked. It's not like he's doing 20 damage to me with a wolf. I gotta say though, I wish I had all the kobolds, because I would find a way to make a kobold deck deadly. There's the pass. There's the Sullivan Library trigger. It looks like I know exactly what I'm going for at the moment. There's a swing in. And looks like I'm holding control. There's the Maze of Ith trick. And the pass. Looks like we're correcting life totals again. Got to make sure that we gain all the Spirit Link and the Fountain of Youth. So basically that's 5 life a turn right now I'm popping. 4 for Triskelion and 1 for Fountain. Looks like I forgot to untap my lands. Again, usually this happens when we play table Magic in a bar because we're, drinking and feeling good. It also happens online when it's very late at night and everybody's exhausted. The beer story seems to work a lot better. I actually miss playing bar Magic with my buddies, but it's hard for me to get out. Alright, so there's Alright, so there's the attack. I used one of my boomerangs to bounce his defensive guy back. Now I'm blocking with the trike and blocking with a factory. So now that I had more than one, I wanted to make sure I took as much advantage as humanly possible. Now he was thinking about using more of his big spells, but he's not going to be able to protect them. It's a 3/3 and a 4/4. So he was going to basically swing in and then cast, I think it was 3 of the buff spells. And that would have seriously put a massive hurting on me. Because that was 2, 4, 5. That would have been 5 pluses for every Kobold. So it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. That might have killed me, actually. Looks like I'm swinging in with the factory and the trike. And I'm going to ping for the rest. Yep. There's the extra boomerang. There's the divine offering. And there's a oubliette. Yep, see right there. There you go. That's 4 damage right there. Or 4 power per Kobold. So that would have been very bad for me. That would have probably came close to killing me. But I hope you guys enjoyed the game. We're going to pan through. Looks like I did things upside down. I'm going to take my sideboard out here. I think I just put in... Yeah, put in an extra boomerang, I believe. And the COPs and a red removal. So you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching.